went on Thursday. She
They
sold
use it
houses,
in their houses for
and
washing
then
clothes,
the cable company
doing the
had
dishes.
BIOS.
Oh,
And they,
now it's Frontier.
okay, and let me tell you, while you're
Yeah.
trying to
Crazy,
move,
I could-
Yeah, every time
Frontier
I've
can't
done
operate, so I've been 2 weeks
trip in
without
that direction,
internet and
it's
cable
all
at the
in.
house, and I've
And I said, don't think.
no
we
data
can't.
on my phone left, so I had to go to Verizon and say, okay,
Possibly.
you sold me
Just
to this other company. And
enjoy
now I
hanging
have
out.
no internet data from my house. They're gonna come on Friday, so I'm hoping that that's gonna change. But I need to to be able to have data. He's like, well, the nice thing is it's only $20 more to add to your plan for me to get you 20 gigs, which will get you through for a week.
But it's just
You
almost
know,
impossible.
like I need to know pay bills and that kind of stuff.
It's not there anymore.
But see,
Well, I paid them,
Well, no, but
which
we
I'm gonna
tried,
pay.
and on the internet, and it was like.
pre-planned for a week, and they want to
wanna
know.
know
And he kills
Yeah,
himself.
'cause they're
And
migrating all
kills
their
himself.
I'm like,
But
I want
and
to
that's
give you money.
Where do you think he's
Also, instead of putting phone numbers, like the Verizon phone numbers that go with
Well, I'm gonna
that,
tell
they
you,
made
we're
up
gonna
phone
suffer
numbers. The tech guy
for
told me,
it.
they made up phone numbers, he could not find my
Well,
account.
with between,
So let me look it up
they
by your
wanna
name. And I said,
drill
okay,
in the Gulf,
here's
they
what
wanna
you're gonna do,
frack
because
Florida,
I'm already
they're
getting
not gonna
mad
be
and I've been transferred and hung up on like 5 times. And so here's what you're gonna do, you're gonna put my real phone
I think
number
in
and
this
to
case,
that thing
they
right
stayed
there.
on the boat the whole
I have to send you
time.
to customer service. Oh, no, we're not going to
Took
customer
them-
service, you're gonna do
We're
it.
good.
So this guy's trying to figure
A lot
out with
of
his
days
boss
they
how to
just
do it,
stuck
because they were
on
like,
the
they
boat
knew I
in
was not gonna be
Tarpon
okay.
Springs.
That was such a bad
Hang out
idea.
and do
Like, they
stuff in
didn't tell
Tarpon.
anybody.
No.
Like, we sent an email, I'm like, yeah, didn't.
No,
The first time I
They
went
were
back, it was on the
from Minnesota or someplace. So
they sent me,
in the middle of the
when I
winter,
got my bill,
no,
there was something
they
to
had
do.
to be
For the cold.
Verizon bill.
If it's higher than the regular amount, I just pay it. Why do
That was long ago.
He's walking.
I remember that happening. I used to go up to the Yeah, you have problem raising me down here, and I go up there and say it's an Appalachian country, and they would cut the mountains off. They cut that mountain straight across,
Yeah, I
and
didn't
then
know
they
which one to
raise
walk
down.
Pissed me
There's
off and
nothing
I'm
there,
very
and
angry
that's what's happening
upset.
in
It's
California.
$50, you can keep your
I
$50.
need a manager on the phone, and I'm gonna need
I
a
have a
lot
trainer
more
3
than
days.
So eventually I call them back and say, this is how it's gonna work, and
Going
I'm
out in
waiting
the
to see
yard
what
to
the first
play,
bill is, because I'm sure it's
there'd
gonna
be
be more than what my
sinkholes, see
contract
them
is.
there through the window, next thing
We're
you
not.
know.
I'm saying,
The other lady
they wanna
told me that I
frack
can get out of the
here where
contract
we already have
because
those
they sold me. Even though they told me they couldn't.
Call to order the meeting of the Tarpon Springs Planning and Zoning Board for April 18th, 2016. We'll have a roll call.
Chairman Vincent,
Here.
Mr. Galiusis,
Here.
Ms. St. Arnold,
Here.
Mr. Seaman,
Here.
Mr. Haas,
Here.
Ms. Protos,
Here.
Mr. Carr, Mr. Parker.
Excuse.
Okay, we have a quorum. And we'll begin with, well, I don't know if we need a quasi-judicial reading today. It's just a legislative matter, right? So there's no quasi-judicial proceedings this evening, so we'll forego number 2 on the agenda. And number 3, is that still deferred?
That's correct. I need to preserve our advertising. I'd like to defer the reading of the annexation for Peter Fisher at 1609 Dixie Highway, application number 1606, to your May 16th, 2016 meeting, so that we can move on with that application.
Need a motion to that?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so that application's been deferred to May 16th. The next item is item number 4, application number 16-21, amendment to the text of the comprehensive plan. Request to amend the text of the residential very low category of the future land use element of the comprehensive plan. And we'll begin with a staff report.
Okay, this was a previously done, actually last year, amendment to your future land use element that created this category, residential very low. During the process, at the same time, the countywide plan was going through and being updated, as well as the countywide rules. They made a change to those rules while they were through their hearing process. We had already finished our hearing process on this information. And so as a result, they've asked us now to go back and add the language to make our category consistent with the category at the county level that's the same land use category. So the changes are outlined here, and I can go over them so you can see the changes in the language in the ordinance under Exhibit 1, I think it is here. Essentially, they're asking to change the secondary uses to no longer allow public, semi-public, however, to allow transportation, utility, institutional uses, and recreational and open space uses. Then under the acreage limits, they would like to change the language for any such uses, any contiguous uses or combination of uses subject to the same acreage threshold specified below, alone or when added, exceeding exceeding shall require a map amendment. Basically, what this is stating is they're saying that the thresholds that are right below this that require, if the acreage is less than that, they don't require map amendments. They're trying to make it super specific so that people can understand when they get into these land uses when a map amendment's required and when a map amendment's not required. So that's essentially what that language is trying to convey. Again, we adopted this category as a result of a request by an applicant off of Keystone for a project that actually never has come to fruition, but they're still actively pursuing that property and they want to come forward. So we need to make this correction to make this available in our comprehensive plan as the land use designation, because this is the land use designation that's most appropriate. That project coming forward, when it comes forward, is not going to be above 1 unit per acre. And in this area, the county has decided that the most appropriate, or it wasn't really the county, it's PPC, has decided that the most appropriate threshold for density is 1 unit per acre. So we need a land use category that's consistent because we currently don't have one. Even our agricultural category even allows more than 1 unit per acre when you get into the housing. So that being the case, that's why this came forward to begin with, and these are the changes to make it consistent with the county-wide plan. And I can answer any questions you have. I know it's a little convoluted.
I have some questions. So in other words, it's just for this one project out on Keystone Road?
That's what the land use category was created. But other projects coming forward in that area, if they choose to be annexed into the city, would then be able to utilize this land use category. So they're consistent with both our plan and the PPC's plan.
At 1 unit per acre?
Up to 1 unit, 0 to 1, so up to.
Okay, but that's the only area in Tarpon Springs that this would affect.
Correct.
My concern was recreation, because we have a lot of parks. People don't realize how much recreation area we have in Tarpon Springs. And the future is gonna hold that you're not gonna have anymore because it's not gonna be safe. And that's what I was concerned about. So within our city limits right now, there isn't any property that this could affect.
There is, because one of those properties that are part of that have actually been annexed in, and they were annexed in at a land use category that truly doesn't exist in your plan any longer. So it has there's an odd history there, but there's an adjacent piece that they want to bring in, and those two pieces together would become that project.
Out off of Keystone?
Out on the Keystone. Yeah, it's between Keystone and Highland. Where Highland goes up, it's that parcel.
That changes my vote then.
Okay.
I was talking about. And the other question was, well, you said what brought it forth. Okay, right now, it's very hard to get through a Friday at the day to this. They got to do something about the phone situation.
Yeah, I'm working on that, Anita. Trust me,
I've tried 3 times again today and just couldn't get.
Unfortunately, I was the only person in the office today, and last week was on vacation, so.
It's your fault. They dial you and you're recording, so it doesn't work. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for staff regarding this matter?
I'm still confused what this is all about.
Okay. We have 2 different maps that you guys administer essentially. There's the one associated with the comprehensive plan, and then there's the one associated with the land development code, which is the zoning map. This is an amendment to the comprehensive plan to add a category that then people can come in and ask for this particular land use category where it's appropriate, and request to have their future land use, which is the comprehensive planning map, associated with this language changed.
And
So
this is supposed to be same language as Pinellas County is using, is that what you're?
Not Pinellas County, it's actually the PPC, which is the Pinellas Planning Council. You have an extra layer of government here where they have a countywide plan. The county has their own plan. We have our own plan. We're the local municipal jurisdictions. And then there's an extra governmental layer here where you're dealing with a countywide plan. And that's mostly because you have so many municipalities in Pinellas County. It's trying to bring all those municipalities under the same type of umbrella so that they have more consistent land use. And we as a local community can choose to be more restrictive or less, but not less restrictive than that plan. This, in this case, since this is a brand new land use category and we don't currently have anything actually with this land use on it, we've chosen as a community to adopt something that's consistent with that countywide plan. We may in the future decide to again amend this language to make it more restrictive than what's here.
So
But
just so then, this isn't the end all of all. So, I mean, we can change this later if we want to, is that what you're saying?
correct, yeah, we can change any of our land uses at any time. We just have to go through this formal process.
All right, thank you.
Is there anything off of alternate 19 going north that this could affect?
Not right now. There's nobody's come to me with applications for those areas. This would be available for anybody to request it, but again, Anita, we're going to have to only allow this land use where it's appropriate because you have a lot of different land uses in the city that will not be compatible with such a low density land use. You need to have, this needs to be appropriate to certain areas. So you'll determine those areas as applicants come forward, and we'll make the recommendation to you as to if this is appropriate or if it's not. They have right to ask, but you don't necessarily have to approve those individual things because we're not actually designating a specific area. We are just creating that land use category.
So if they don't want it, they don't have to have it. My
Correct.
concern was I did not want to hurt anyone's property rights with acreage that this could cover, because I'm sure the general public doesn't understand all of this.
I agree.
I mean, I hate to say it that way, but it's true because they don't read all the ads and they don't hear.
Sure, and
Want to tie someone who's been paying a lot of taxes all these years on their property and then have something like this come up and they say, well, am I restricted? Well, as long as they're not restricted to that.
in this case, they would have to physically come in once this has been adopted and request that. So they would be signing on to that social contract saying, okay, I agree, this is the land use that I want to have. So essentially, they have to personally want that.
Very good. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, is there a motion?
So move to adopt application number 16-21, amendment to the text of the comprehensive plan.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Take a roll call vote.
Ms. Protos?
Yes.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Mr. Seaman?
Yes.
Ms. St. Arnold?
Yes.
Mr. Gialusis?
Yes.
Chairman Vincent?
Yes. That concludes item number 4. The next item on the agenda is number 5, staff comments.
We have no comment.
Thank you. The next item is for board member comments. Any board members care to make any comments?
Again, you did an excellent job.
I'm sorry?
I said again, she's done
Yes.
an excellent, excellent job. I'm very impressed
you, Heather.
with the planning department.
Hearing no comments from the board, is there a motion to adjourn?
Yes. So move for adjourn.
Wow.
A second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're adjourned at 7:12 p.m.
Call democracy.
That might be a new record.
Well, on August 19,
That's a weird area.
I know.
It's still
You
light
know,
outside.
where the shopping center is on the left, Anclote Road, right there at Anclote is where it starts properly. But then it just, and then on 19,
Walmart, old Walmart property is.
yeah,
So that must be the river then, or, because
Yeah,
I think,
Across the river's Tarpon too, where that development is.
so the ice center is in Tarpon?
Yes, St. Luke's is Tarpon.
It's still late.
Yeah, that's real close to the line.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
right
line.
on the
That's
line.
real close.
Yeah, because I remember when Gills had to come up here and, way back in the eighties.
You had to have that annex problem.
Part of it,
Yeah.
where it goes down for the parking for the,
Yeah, I was gonna say, cause
yeah.
that's after
Yeah.
the actual line.
He was,
All right,
he
I'm
was
gonna give you
Pasco's
this, and
second
thank you for saying,
largest
but I wanna
taxpayer.
keep this
Okay.
in my packet,
Yeah.
so I will know